members of the royal family will be walking. This is the route we expect them to take. This is the route it will take, all on the castle grounds. The coffin will depart at the state entrance of Windsor Castle, flanked by military pallbearers. It will pass by the Round Tower and head to the west steps of St. George's Chapel. It is not at all what was in the original plan, which was known as Operation Forth Bridge, which was to involve much of London, but this is the moment we are all in now. So Windsor Castle, I think, is, as is understood, is in the community of Windsor, and as you can probably imagine, it is a place where almost everywhere you turn, people have stories and very close ties to the royals. Margaret Evans is with us with how people there are marking this day.
Adrian, we're just outside Windsor Castle. On the other side of the wall behind me is St. George's Chapel, which is, of course, where the funeral service is going to be taking place. As you know, Buckingham Palace, the British government, have really been encouraging people to watch the funeral from home. They don't want large numbers coming down to Windsor because of the COVID restrictions. And I think for the most part, people are trying to respect that. The mood here is very mellow. There are a lot of journalists, a lot of people out enjoying the sunshine, but not huge crowds. There are a few people who've come down with their flowers, and if they do, they're taken by stewards back to the other side of the castle walls so that the royal family can actually see them. The people of Windsor, of course, have a very special relationship to the royal family. They feel that they're neighbors. So if you talk to people, they'll have tales of sightings. They'll talk about seeing Prince Philip riding his carriage with his ponies around town well into his 90s. And of course, during this past year, we've seen Prince Philip and the Queen spending most of the pandemic here at Windsor. And people say that that has made them feel even closer to the royal family. There's genuine affection from people here as they watch the family try to say goodbye to the Duke of Edinburgh. Particular concern, of course, to the Queen, who is saying farewell to her husband of 73 years. Adrian.
Remarkable, you consider that the Queen's birthday is on Wednesday. She will be 95 years old. It will be her first birthday without her prince in 73, 74 years. So as we are waiting here, what you're seeing is that the military units and the marching bands have been forming up their contingents in Home Park, which is not that far away, so that they can then proceed to the quadrangle of Windsor Castle to eventually move on to St. George's Chapel. So I think one of the groups you have just seen is the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery. All of these units were chosen particularly by the Prince because of his affiliations with them. As you can imagine, when word spread that the Prince had died, there was an immediate outpouring of stories and of memories about him. They came from all over the world and from all kinds of people because he was known as this very affable man. And former BBC royal correspondent Wesley Kerr has many of both those stories and memories. Thank you, Wesley, for joining us today. You know, we understand well that Windsor Castle holds a special place for the Queen. It certainly did for Prince Philip. The significance is also rich to you.
No, Windsor Castle is such an amazing and remarkable place, the largest inhabited castle in the world. The Queen is the 41st monarch for whom this has been a castle. It was actually started by William the Conqueror in the 1070s. I've been associated with Windsor Castle all my life. As a boy, I lived quite near. We used to come here for picnics. When the Queen gave me my OBE, it was here. I was here the day of the fire. I was here for the restoration. But this means so much in Philip's life. Amazingly, this is where his grandmother was born in 1863 in the presence of Queen Victoria. His mother was born here in 1885 in the presence of Queen Victoria. His mother's funeral was here in 1969. So although he was a Prince of Greece and Denmark, he was, of course, like Her Majesty, the great-great-grandchild of Queen Victoria. And then it's been very powerful in their lives. They're the first royal couple really to live here as almost their main home since Victoria and Albert. So it was so appropriate that he should die here, overlooking the Eastern Terrace Gardens, which he had laid out. He's was Ranger of Windsor Great Park for nearly 70 years, as he was also in charge of Sandringham and Balmoral, and he was incredibly innovative in his estate management, in his tree planting. I'm told that the staff working on the Crown Estate here, they feel they worked for him. Many have been here 50 years. They would see him carriage driving. If there was something he didn't like in the estate, they would get a handwritten note the next day. He would go round this estate actually without escort. The Queen loves it here. Yesterday she drove down to a part of the estate, Frogmore Gardens, with the two dogs, the Dorgie and the Corgi. That's her favourite relaxation. This place, incredibly special. And he was so innovative. I mean, he even created a vineyard here so that at state banquets you could get English wine.